This topic is charts, and I'd like you to work along with me. There are a couple of ways to add charts to your presentation. You can select this symbol right here, which is this symbol right here, and it will open up this dialog box. Another way is to go to the Insert tab and choose Chart. Either way will get you in. You can have a line chart, pie chart, whatever chart you want. The most common is the column chart, and I'd like you to select that. Now with this comes an Excel sheet, and it has different categories on it and different series which are represented here. The first thing I'm going to do is the categories, the lettering is so small I want to change it so that you can read it easier. So I'm going to select it, which I just did, go to the Home tab, and click the large A, and that will increase the font size. So what I'd like you to do is select these categories and then increase it to 18. And then after that, it says Series 1, Series 2, Series 3 below that. I want you to select that and also increase the size of that. Now it's so much more readable. If I were to change category 1, which is right here, if I were to change it on the Excel sheet, it would be reflected in the chart. So I'm going to take out the word category and replace it with beverages. And as soon as I hit enter, you can see that this word down here changed to beverages to reflect the Excel sheet. In Series 1, which is in the cell B1, I'm going to change that to first quarter. And you can see as soon as I clicked enter, it is reflected right down here. So I'd like you to do that. Change the first to beverages, change beverages and first quarter. In category 2, I want you to put grains. And you can see how that came down. If I wanted to make the table larger, I could select to the right of it if I wanted to add a column and just add a number. And you can see there's another column added right there. If I wanted to add another row, all I have to do is add data directly below it and another row will be added. So I'll put 5 in there and you can see another row is added. Let's suppose I really didn't want all these extra rows and columns. The way to get around it is to edit the data or select the data. We only want a limited area. So how we do that is when we're selected on the chart, come up here to Design. So click the Design tab after you click the chart, and right here where it says Select Data, I'd like you to select this data icon. And this is what you'll see. And you can see the marching ants goes around the area that it thinks the chart is. And this is it's represented here. Sheet 1 is A1 to E6. We want to change that simply by dragging over the original area, which is going to be A1 to D5. You can see it's $A, $1, colon, $D, $5, and that's A1 to there to D5 right there. And we'll click OK, and you can see it went back to the original 4 categories. So we're back to the original 4 rows and 3 columns. And by the way, you can switch rows and columns. So now you have 3 columns and 4 in every column. But let's switch it back to the original. Now you might want to add some attributes to your chart. So I'm going to drag it over here a little bit. and select this. And you can see where it says axes. If we were to take that off, there's less information. So we want to leave that on there. I can select axis title, and it's right there. But if I don't want it, I can select it off. And actually, if I wanted the axis title in a different position, I could have put it somewhere else. Chart title. I can select it. It's right here. I can just say tri-state area. Tri-state area, or whatever I wanted to. And if I want to get rid of it, just get rid of it. Data labels are kind of interesting. If you want to know exactly what it is, for example, I can see here's 4, here's 5, but if I want to know exactly what it is, right there it's 4.5. So data labels are kind of neat, and you have a lot of choices with that. I'm going to show you some of the choices that you have. For example, data labels, we have them on top. We could have them in the center, which you see it went right to the center. You can have data labels on the outside end, which is what we had originally. You can have data call out. And there are more options. I like outside end the best. And I don't want to call it. I don't want to call out. There are other choices you can have when you select a table. The legend is really important. And we have it at the bottom of the page right now, but we could put it at the right side of the page. You can see it's right there. You can put it at the top, but we'll leave it at the bottom right there. So those are some of the basic things you can do with this first, when you select this cross right here. It has a lot of chart elements. This next one gives you a series of ideas. If you want a different style, you can pick that. Ready-made styles and so on. I'm going to stay with what we had before. And the last one is a filter button. Now you can do more with the Excel sheet that this is based on. So once you select it, go to Design and Edit Data right there. Select Edit Data, and you can edit data in that small box that we had earlier, or you can edit it on an actual Excel sheet. So we're going to do it this time. And here we have the Excel sheet. If I decided that I wanted all of this to appear as dollars, for example, I want to format it differently, I could select currency and everything appears as dollars. And if you check it in here, right over here it says $6, $5, $4. This is $4.30, $4.40. I don't know that we want to do it like that, but you can. I'm going to take it back to general. And of course we can add quite a bit more to it. Just this area here is selected. We could just delete this part right here if we wanted to, and make other changes with the full capability of Excel. So I'm going to close this. But if you want to edit it again, you can either edit it in the small box or edit it with the full Excel program. Another thing you can do is you can format various aspects of it. For example, if you were to click on, say, this blue one, I can right-click and I have a contextual menu. And I can choose Format Data Series, and in that case, I can change the color. For example, it's blue. I want to change it to, say, green, and they all change to green. I can make a variety of changes based on what I originally selected. If I select this in the background, let's close this, and I right-click, I can format the plot area. So I have a different set of menus. If I select this, I can right click, format axis, and so on. There's just axis options. Tick marks, so on. There's just so many choices that you have on here. Basically, anything that you select, you can right click and you'll get a contextual menu, and you can change that part of it. So I'm going to select this again because when I went back, I think it took it back too far. I'm going to make that text larger. And this series larger. A home tab. And I might want to make the entire table smaller. So I go to the outside circle, hold down the left key and drag in. And now I would have to make everything smaller because it's not going to fit otherwise. Let's put this right up there. Sometimes you just have to move things. So it was overlapping. I had to move it. It doesn't hurt to, if you see that grid box, you could just grab a hold of it when you have the arrows in 4 different directions and just drag it anywhere you need to have it. This next part is charts copied from Excel. So let's just go to an Excel spreadsheet. And let's say this is the chart we want to copy right here. So I'm going to select it, select the whole thing, Control C, hold down the Control key and hit C. Now I'm going to go to my other page right here and Control V. And it popped right in there. I can, of course, make it smaller. I can resize it. And it has the same options as the other one did. The axis, the chart title, and all the things that I can change about it if I want to. If I want to look at the data source, I can select Design and select Data. And this shows me that it's the Charts 2 page, and it tells me the range that it is taken from a table on that page. If I want to edit data, I've got it in Excel right here, and I can change this from a 45 Italy to 450, which is going to make it a lot bigger. As you can see, it did right there, and it also did right here, as Italy has a huge jump in whatever it is we're measuring. So I'll take that down and make that 45 again. So I have control, but the thing of it is if I were to share this PowerPoint presentation and it was not in the same computer, it was not in the same folder that it was in originally where the data source is, we would lose all of this information. So if you just have static information and you don't want it to update, it's better to do a screenshot and just get a picture of the graph and put it on there, rather than take the chance that your PowerPoint presentation was copied to a different computer and is no longer linked to the particular page. Because if it's not linked to this information right here, it's not going to look like much. For example, I am going to delete this. And you can see what happened over here. So you definitely want your information, if it's going to be linked to an Excel file, it has to be where it was on the folder relative to your PowerPoint presentation. If it's not connected that way, I strongly recommend just doing a screenshot, and then you just have a picture. It will not update, but it's a picture of the chart, and for almost all practical purposes, it will work just fine. let's do one more page. And let's just say we want this chart right here. I'm going to copy it, Control C, go right here and Control V, and there it is. Let's just say we want Italy, Brazil, and France. We don't want Germany, Israel, and Japan on here. So what we can do, we'll select it, go to Select Data, and let's get this area right up here. We just want those areas right there. We'll click OK. You can see that area went in there, B104, which is right there, to G107, which is right there. We'll click OK. And you can see we just have France, Brazil, and Italy on here. Easy way to change it is you select the data on the actual Excel sheet that you want. If I change my mind and I want a different set, I will go to Select Data, and I will go to the actual worksheet. This time I want Israel and Japan. So I am just going to, I tell you what, I'll do Italy, A, B, and C, and Israel and Japan. I'm going to hold down the Control key. So now I have Italy, Israel, and Japan, A, B, and C, because I selected those two and I held down the Control key. Click OK. There it is, Israel, Japan, and Italy. And it's so small, I'm just going to make it bigger because I hate when this, you got to be able to read what we have here. And now it's gotten so big it doesn't fit in the box. So I have to make it maybe a little bit smaller, make everything bigger so it fits. There we go. Japan, Israel, and Italy. So those are a couple of ways to add information. You can always click on this. And say I want axis title, the chart title, which I can move. I want data labels, which is really nice. Got 55 there, 22 there, 20 there. Grid lines, of course, I think you need grid lines. And the legend, of course, which is very important, which is Italy, Israel, and Japan, and it made it small again. So I'm going to make this area bigger. Oh, it has it already here, so we don't need it in there twice. Okay, Japan, Israel, and Italy. Those are some ideas of what you can do and how you can work with charts. Thank you.